Under the biogenic amine, they further divide into different groups by the chemical. One is called catecholamine, and the other one is called endolamine. Under the catecholamine, you have something we have heard before: dopamine, epinephrine, and norepinephrine. They are classified under the catecholamine. The second one is called endolamine, and the major neurotransmitter that belongs to this group is serotonin and histamine. I know you heard of some histamine before, right? It releases when you have allergy and all that. Yes, histamine also functions as a neurotransmitter. It is the most distributed group of neurotransmitters throughout your body, as you mentioned right here. So far, we just say general. The area of your cognitive capacity that involves this neurotransmitter are the emotional behavior, and it also regulates our biological clock. Okay, for example, 10 years old, what can you do? 20 years old, what can you do? It regulates that so that we have the clock that we eventually run out when we age. Okay? Furthermore, I want you guys to learn this. This is how, specifically, all the catecholamine neurotransmitter are being synthesized. One more time. Catecholamine. What chemical belongs to them? I know the catecholamine hard to pronounce, but can you pronounce dopamine? Okay, epinephrine and norepinephrine. And here's how it works. The neuron that release dopamine as a neurotransmitter, okay, it has an enzyme named tyrosine hydroxylase. Tyrosine. I know you heard that term from somewhere. Tyrosine is a type of amino acid. Do you remember how our melanocytes produce melanin? Remember that? It takes tyrosine and convert that into melanin with the enzyme named tyrosinase. You remember that? Well, in this case, this neuron uses the same thing. It takes tyrosine and convert them into a chemical named L-DOPA with the presence of oxygen, and the enzyme that's responsible for this conversion is called tyrosine hydroxylase. And then L-DOPA will in turn convert it into dopamine by another enzyme. That enzyme name is DOPA decarboxylase. That's how this neuron produces dopamine. The neuron that produces norepinephrine have another enzyme, and that enzyme name is dopamine beta hydroxylase. This enzyme will convert dopamine into norepinephrine. The neuron that release epinephrine as a neurotransmitter, they possess another enzyme where it can do all this, but this enzyme, listen to the name, phenylethylamine and methyltransferase. It's a mouthful, isn't it? Okay. That enzyme will convert norepinephrine into epinephrine. And that's how all those three then work. You don't have to memorize the name of the enzyme. However, you have to know what that enzyme does. For example, dopamine beta hydroxylase do what? It converts what from what? It converts dopamine into norepinephrine. So if I give you the test question and ask you, this neuron usually produces epinephrine as a neurotransmitter, but this enzyme is missing. Okay? What neurotransmitter can it produce now? And you have the name of the enzyme right there, so you don't have to memorize that, but you need to know how they function in that cascade. Are you with me? Okay, if I may have time, there is a big movie about that chemical right there, L-DOPA. How many of you guys watching the movie played by a very funny guy, Robin Williams? The name is Awakening. Okay, don't say yes to know our age, Monica, but it's actually it's 20 years ago, in the 80s, I believe, right? That movie was created by that right there. Without, it's talking about Parkinson's disease and then how they treat them and why he instrumental in that. So if you want to find out interesting, rent that movie. It should be Netflix now for free. All right, what's next? So we talk about acetylcholine. We talk about, amino acid. Okay, we know 20 different amino acids. Some of them are function as neurotransmitter, and here's other name. Oh, no, I don't see. This amino acid named gamma amino butyric acid. And you can see that. That's a long name, isn't it? So we call them GABA for short, GABA. GABA stands for those names. An amino acid. Glycine, aspartate, glutamate. Those are the major amino acids that function as a neurotransmitter in our nervous system. And notice this amino acid only found in the CNS. They are nowhere found in the PNS at all. Okay, now we go into peptide, a small protein. Under the peptide, we need to talk about this. There is a neurotransmitter named substance P. Okay, I can go on about substance P because that is my master's thesis. Okay, my master's thesis is substance P induced spinal elasticity in inflamed tall rat. Okay, the question is, what the heck is substance? What's the P stand for? Okay, long time ago, when they don't know what's going on, they actually observed that this chemical, at that time there's no name, every time there is a pain activity, somebody get burned or something that causing injury on your tissue, the level of this chemical increase. At that time they just call them P for pain. Okay, the substance P, the substance that usually pain causes an increase of this chemical. Okay, and they have all intention to change that name to something else. But some neuroscientists say, hey, substance P sounds catchy, so they stay with it. Okay, substance P, and you see clearly, we find out in our body, we may not all the detail, but we know what it does is it mediates pain. Okay, how does somebody inflict pain in your finger, and then the brain knows that, oh, there's a pain in my finger, along the pathway, there's substance P release as a signal. Okay, the second one are the one you may have heard before, different name. Okay, beta endorphin, dynorphin, and enkephalin. They all belong to the chemical, I know you heard about this. They all belong to an opium chemical. In other words, it's a type of morphine. Wait a minute, I thought morphine is when somebody injects in your body, right? To reduce pain. You telling me that we have a chemical in the body that can reduce pain by itself? The answer is absolutely. If you're smart enough, you build a molecular system. You better build something that when you have pain, you're able to deal with it. And the evidence is everywhere. Okay, sometimes the extreme case. How many times you heard people like a mother who are petite, very petite, okay, her car roll over, it's burning, and her kid inside the car. This petite woman hold the car using her own hand with the burning car, flip that car over and get the kid out. Well, one of them is we call that epinephrine. But why it doesn't feel pain at that time? Because at that time her body released opiate-like, either this one over here, endorphin and enkephalin or that, to take away the pain temporarily. She will be a whole lot of pain later, right? At that moment, she didn't feel a thing. Cool, huh? So don't go out and try to illegally buy opium. You have it. Okay, just how you release that is different. And actually, we learned that there's a way. I will not tell you why. It's just a psychological thing that you can induce where you try to numb yourself. All right. Oh, gut-brain peptide. The name sounds very romantic, isn't it? So far, we learned neurotransmitter. What do you expect in the body? Neurotransmitter should be found in the nervous tissue, right? CNS, PNS. But we find out that there are some chemicals also released from your gut. Hit the name, gut-brain neurotransmitter. Okay, let me ask, I think I forgot to mention this. When we classify different types of division in the nervous system, under the autonomic nervous system, how many divisions do we have, or we talk about? Under the autonomic nervous system? 2. They are sympathetic and parasympathetic. Okay? Scientists, very agreeable now, think that we have a third one as well. And that third one is called enteric. So you have sympathetic, parasympathetic, and enteric. What the heck is enteric? Well, enteric is a tightly regulated nervous tissue that only found in your gut. Only in your gut, hit the name, gut-brain, and that's where those neurotransmitters we call the gut-brain peptide came from. The famous one is somatostatin, okay, and the second one is called cholecytokinin, we call CCK for short. that's the one that we still don't know a lot. However, the evidence is there. Okay, have I told you a story that I have a student